All right, we're back on this vehicle. So I'm going through the process of figuring out what was and wasn't done with what information I was given on the replacement, because this got replaced from a York to a Sandin compressor. So I'm pouring out the old oil because I want to know how much comes out. This is the oil out of the new vehicle, and you can see that's 4 ounces. So now only 4 ounces came out. So let's go over this. 4 ounces. Now this is where mentoring, apprenticeship, reading, and everything, when you give components to a technician, you know, I had to go back. So you have a sanding compressor right there, and you can see the oil drain plug on it. Let's see if I could get to that without, where is that at? Sorry, I forgot to turn on the light. Right. Don't tell me you don't want to focus now. There you go. You see that drain plug right in the middle of that compressor? So that is the drain plug. So I had them drain out the oil, and that is that oil right there. Now you see how brown it is, how yellow it is, a little oxidized. Should be crystal clear. Everything is new except the evaporator on here. The box that the sanding comes in has no instructions in it. It has no instructions on it. Now this is where you would go to the manufacturer and try to get some more information. But if you just slap this compressor on here, because remember, we used to be told that compressors came usually with a full charge of refrigerant oil, no oil, just assembly lube, a whole bunch of stories. But here, there is nothing. There is no stickers on the compressor. There is absolutely no information. Now you would get this compressor, you'd change everything, throw it on, and somebody goes, oh, it has all the oil. 4 ounces of oil is not enough oil for this system. Everything is new. So it would work perfectly when it left your shop, but it would come back later as a burned out compressor later on in the future. And this is exactly why I wanted this to be measured, what came out of the old one. Now I want to know the condition of, we still don't know, because here could be 2 scenarios going on. Let's say for some reason the refrigerant charge, and I know it wasn't, but I didn't get to see this one when I came in here, it was perfectly full and this was in operation and it's only being changed for noise or some other condition. Now let's say this is 6 ounces of oil inside here. This compressor, this has a sump pump on it, and believe it or not, these compressors are designed, depending on the part number, to either be placed up vertical or horizontal. You do not exchange them, because there's a oil pump up here and it has a sump pump pickup tube that goes down to the bottom. One part number will have that pickup tube so it's laying on the side to pick up oil off the bottom. Another part number will have it so it goes off the bottom down here, so you have it in a vertical condition. And if you had the pickup tube going like this and it was supposed to be like this, then where are you getting your oil on? You're just relying on splash oiling and what circulates, and it'll live for a while. And then somebody will go, oh, it's a defective compressor later on, further on down the line. But it's meant to self-feed through an oil pump, cross-drilled crank and everything like that. But let's get back to this oil tank. If the system ran low on refrigerant and only had 2 or 3 ounces and was still running, that means usually it'll pump a lot of oil out of the compressor. And those are those compressors when you open them up and you go to drain them, nothing comes out, or only a few ounces, or maybe it's supposed to have 6 ounces but only 1 ounce comes out, because over a long period of time of operation the refrigerant level went up and it started spitting and collecting all the refrigerant oil up into the evaporator. It's in the evaporator. So if this was that case and you still got this much oil out, it would be one of those situations where I said somebody swapped a compressor or kept adding oil, because if you still have this much oil in the system and it was one that ran low, and this is collapsing, that means you have an extremely grossly overcharged system. And this is why flushing is important on every one. Other scenario, if the system was fully charged and operating problem, I get 6 ounces out of there and there's 6 ounces in it. You could be right, and you're guessing by not flushing the evaporator. So there's so many scenarios where you don't know. And in all cases, it will leave your shop working and fail later or give poor performance. Now this is a mixed oil of, I could see it, it's separated. I could see the mineral oil floating on the top, and it was globular as I was coming out. So this had PAG in it mixed with mineral oil, and there's actually a test kit that has chemicals. You can pour this sample into a test vial that has different chemicals to go to. You shake it up, you let it settle out, and there's a little graph to go by, and it will tell you the percentage of mineral oil mixed with your other oil. And that's another thing. Everybody's supposed to know about it, but they don't. That's how you catch people who lie to you. So, and it does have dye in it, and this is what comes out of the compressor. That fluorescence you see is not a dye for looking for leaks, it's just the oil itself. PAG, I smell it. This one has really no bad smell. Now this system had a really bad smell to it. It had a foul smell to it coming out of this system. So I know it was moisture contaminated before. So that's all. See, now an owner or a journeyman, they're supposed to be an apprentice. You have the new guys coming in. A lot of people never heard of apprentice before. Would lecture, and there would be book study, and all this stuff would be known before you're ever allowed to even work on this stuff. And then every part of the job, when a apprentice, a technician learning is going through, the journeyman would come from his stall next to him and say, hey, before you button up that dash and everything, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Or they would have a list. He says, let me look through the glove box. Hey, that looks like it's out of place. This is the job of a journeyman who's teaching an apprentice for 4 or 5 years. But that doesn't barely ever happen anymore. And that is why we have so many comebacks and money losses in shop. And it all comes down to the owner. If the owner doesn't know how to apprentice new technicians, it's the owner's fault. If there's a lot of comebacks, it's the owner's fault. If guys are getting mad at each other and they don't want to help each other because of the way a bonus system is set up, it's the owner's fault. Everything comes back, it comes back to the biggest turd at fault. If there's a lot of problems in a shop with a lot of comebacks, it's the owner's fault. Have a nice diet, guys.